Hey YouTube, how you doing? Biggie here. How's everything? Well, we today is September 4th, 2022, and this is my second video of September 2022. And tomorrow is September 5th, 2022, and tomorrow is Labor Day. Yep. So here today I am giving another DVD update that I added to my collection. I got more rated R movies of the ones I've reviewed. Like I got let's see, three. I got five Warner Brothers, one 20th Century Fox Disney that is owned by Disney now. I got two Paramounts and one MGM. So, oh, I think I made them. Let me correct. I got five Warner Brothers movies, two Paramounts, and one 20th Century Fox Disney, now owned by Disney, and one MGM. So now let's do the review. Here we go. I got two 2018 films right here. This one is inspired by a true story. It's by Clint Eastwood. I haven't seen these two ones yet, but somebody recommended me to get these. The Mule. This first one is The Mule, 2018. And Jake Hamilton of Fox TV says Clint Eastwood delivers an unforgettable performance. I'm sure he does. I would love to see this movie. I'd love to get the 2021 movie Cry Macho with him in his 90s. Yep. Can't believe he's still kicking for. He looks pretty good for his age, to tell you the truth. And here's one. This one is from 2018 as well. This stars Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. A Star is Born. I have not seen this movie yet, but I was recommended to get it. I heard it's a pretty good movie. So, yep. And here's more that I've recently added to my collection. Um, this one stars Harrison Ford. He's a attorney, I think. Let's see. He's a deputy prosecutor engaged in an obsessive affair with a coworker who was murdered. It's a 1990 film. You may from it has the late Raul Julia in it as well. Presumed Innocent. I've been wanting to get this movie for years. Yep, it's good. And here's one with athlete actress Cindy Crawford and William Baldwin, who I believe is to be Alec Baldwin's brother. This is a 1995 film. I've not seen this movie, but I'd love to see it. It also has Christopher McDonald in it, best known as Shooter McGavin in Happy Gilmore. I love Happy Gilmore, but that's in my Universal PG-13 collection. And it's in my sports collection because it's a golf movie, and golf's a sport. Anyway, this movie I got is Fair Game. Another one I have not seen yet, but I would love to see it. Chris Hewitt of Knight Rider Tribune News Group says, sexy, exciting, and fun. Yep. This one's a 1995 film, so at least that's what it says. And here's one that I got at the thrift store this weekend. I only paid $1. I paid $1 each for these movies I bought. And these are this one is sealed, and I paid $1 for this. Another one. It's a 1994 film. Michael Douglas and Demi Moore is in it, along with Donald Sutherland, Carolyn Goodall, and Dennis Miller. Disclosure. Yep. And a sheer entertaining blockbuster, says Suzanne. I can't, I can't say it. Oh, and I got another Warner Brothers movie. This one's I put in my Halloween collection too. It's a 2001 film. It's from Warner Brothers Pictures and Columbia Pictures. It's called 13 Ghosts. And a nightmare come true for fans of seriously scary movies, says Joe Layden of the San Francisco Examiner. Yep, so that's my rated R Warner Brothers. Here I have my my 20th Century Fox, now owned by Disney. This is the only 20th Century Fox DVD I collected. It stars Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. This is a 2012 movie. I guess it looks like they're police officers. I have not seen this movie, but I'd love to. The Watch. It's a 21 laps production. Yep. Stars Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, they also work together in Dodgeball, which is in my PG-13 20th Century Fox collection, with my sports collection basically. This is 2012 with Ben Stiller and Vince Vaughn. They also worked together in Dodgeball, which was released in 2004. And Dodgeball also had like Ben Stiller and real life's wife Christine Taylor. She's gorgeous, and the late great Rip Torn. Yep, and be on the lookout for that. Me talking about Dodgeball, reviewing it, and showing my DVD collection. Yep, and here in my I have my Paramount Collection. Two. This one stars Tom Cruise. It's a Cruise Wagner vinyl film. It's a Cameron Crowe film. You may know Cameron Crowe. He worked on films like Say Anything with John Cusack and Fast Times at Ridgemont High with Sean Penn. This one also stars Penelope Cruz, Kurt Russell, Jason Lee, and Cameron Diaz. 2001. Vanilla Sky. Another one I have not seen, but a lot of people are telling me to get these movies and stuff, and I'm like, I gotta see this movie. Yep. And I've heard some good things about this movie too, like Richard Roper of Ebert and Roper, mate Roger Ebert, rest in peace, and Gene Siskel as well. Richard Roper said one of 2000 years 10 best. It's a spectacular film. And Vanilla Sky's highly entertaining erotic thriller, says Stephen Holden in the New York Times. Yep. So yeah, and Cameron Crowe directed Jerry Maguire, this says, I heard. Yep. And Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I really love. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. One of my favorite films of 1982. And here's my last one in my Paramount rated R that I got. This one was 1978. Cheech and Chong is in it. You're probably familiar with what I'm talking about. This is a pretty good movie. A lot of people like this movie, I guess. Up in Smoke. Yep. I would love to. I love in the cigarette thing, the weed thing, that about the early 70s, but this is movies like from the late 70s, early 80s, 1978. So this one I might see soon. Here's another movie I got in my rated R collection. It's from the director of Mission Impossible 2. I think it is. Stars Nicolas Cage, Adam Beach, Noah Emmerich, Mark Ruffalo, Brian Van Holt, Roger Willie, Francis O'Connor, and Christian Slater. This is a 2002 movie. Nicolas Cage is in it. It's a war movie. It's called Windtalkers. Yep. A full throttle battle picture, says the Chicago Tribune. And Larry King, may he rest in peace, the late great Larry King of CNN said, top drawer action and an incredible movie. Yeah, I've heard some good things about this movie. Yep. Oh, and yep. And all I have to say is Happy Labor Day. And today is September 4th, 1972. And today, a big something part of Americana happened today. One of my favorite shows of all time, which is my favorite game show of all time. I like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune, but that's not the game show I'm talking about today. On this day, the longest running daytime game show premiered on this day on CBS on September 4th, 1972, and that is The Price is Right. Bob Barker was hosting it at the time. He hosted it for a pretty good 35 years. He hosted it on CBS from 1972 all the way until 2007, and that's where you get to play pricing games for great, fantastic freaking-tastic prizes. And he hosted it from, like I said, 1972 to 2007, and the first ever car they gave away on The Price is Right with him as the host was a Chevy Vega, a hatchback. They don't make them anymore, and get this, the price back then in 1972 was $2,746. Yep. $2,746. Today, and back then you can get food for a whole lot less than that, anything less than that. But there were like no jumbo jets, no compact discs, no iPads, no iPods, no cell phones, no DVDs, no VCRs, VHS, none of that. And there were no nothing. And then there were 3 announcers in the Bob Barker era. 2 of them have passed away. One of them carried on when Drew Carey took over after Bob Barker retired in 2007. But actually, The Price is Right has been through 4 announcers. The first announcer on The Price is Right was Johnny Olson. He announced The Price is Right all the way until 1972, all the way until he passed away until he passed in 1985. And then for a few months, they've had some other announcers, substitute announcers, for like auditions, and the late Rod Roddy replaced him. And then Rod Roddy won the announcer. He became a permanent announcer in 1986, and he was the last Price is Right announcer with Bob Barker's black hair, and the first announcer with Bob Barker's gray hair. And Bob Barker let his hair fully go gray in 1987, and then they continued on and stuff. And Rod Roddy announced The Price is Right since then, all the way until his passing in 2003, and then continuing to 2004. Bob Barker, they announced they had some like announcers for auditions and stuff, and then some young guy named Rich Fields took it over. And he announced it, the Bob Barker one, all the way until Bob Barker's retirement in 2007, and then he stayed for 3 years. And then I guess he either retired from it or quit or got fired in 2010, and then they did some more auditions with that, and then I guess then some guy named George Gray took it over. Yep. So there are two announcers in the Drew Carey era since he took over in 2007. Rich Fields and George Gray. Yep. George Gray also used to host a game show called The Weakest Link back in the day, where players, they answer questions, and players will go home. One player will go home with money, and the others will go home with nothing. And you go, "You are the weakest link. Goodbye." Yeah. Not fun going home with nothing. Yeah. Yep. And that's where The Price is Right. From 1972 to 1975, they would play 3 pricing games and stuff, and then they go to the two highest amount winners go to the showcase at the end of the show. Starting in 1975 through present, they would play 3 games, then the big wheel. The big wheel round is the showcase showdown. That's where they play for like, if you spin the wheel, they got like 5 cents, 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents, 35 cents, 40, all the way to 95 cents. And $1. And if you spin the big wheel and you get $1 in one spin or a combination of 2 spins, you get $1,000 and a bonus spin. If the wheel stops on one of the green sections, you win. Back when Bob Barker was doing it, it was $5,000 more. And now in the Drew Carey era, it's $10,000 more for a total. Yep. And if you get a $1 in the big wheel in one spin or a combination of 2 spins, back in the Barker era, it was $10,000. In the Drew Carey era, it's $25,000. And of course, the contestant nearest to $1 without going over is in the showcase at the end of the show. And after the first showcase showdown, the big wheel, they play 3 more pricing games, and then they go to the showcase showdown again to see which 2 players won both showcase showdowns in the big wheel. They go to the showcase at the end of the show. And whoever's nearest to the retail price of their own showcase without going over will win it. But if you're the winner and you are less than, back in the day, it was $100. If you're less than if you're within $100 or less above the retail price of your own showcase, you win both showcase. Today, now it's $250. If you're within $250 above or below the actual retail price of your own showcase, you win both showcases, which is pretty good. And of course, Bob Barker, I'm surprised he's still kicking. He's one of my favorite. Him and Alex Trebek, may they rest in peace, and Pat Sajak and Vanna White, and Mark Summers from Nickelodeon are my favorite game show hosts of all time. Yep. And Bob Barker, I'm surprised he's still kicking, though. Yeah. God bless him. Great host, too. And he's best known for his animal rights activism. And Drew Carey kind of like says the same thing Bob Barker used to say at the end of The Price is Right. He's been saying it since like the early 80s. Sometimes he used to say, like, Bob Barker saying goodbye, everybody. And sometimes he would be like, "This is Bob Barker reminding you, help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed or neutered. Goodbye, everybody." And Drew Carey kind of like says at the end, he's like, "Don't forget to get your pets spayed or neutered. Help control the pet population. It's very important. Thanks for seeing." I think, in my opinion, that's kind of like been a Price is Right tradition, because you can see stream The Price is Right, the Barker era on Pluto TV. They're showing like the 1982-1983 season, 1983-1984 season, and the 1984-1985 season of The Price is Right. It's one of the greatest game shows of all time. The best. And I can't believe it's celebrating 50 years. I didn't think it'd go that long. Nobody thought. Yep. And of course they would have like models like showing the prizes stuff they can win, dresses like what they can win. Even especially people, I love seeing when people react when they when they could go, when they go some like automotive, like a RV camper or a car, pickup truck, SUV or van. Like I noticed one time back in the 90s, I saw a clip from the Price is Right 25th anniversary special. Some guy with the mullet and sunglasses, and sunglasses. He was in playing Golden Road, and he was playing for like an old RV Ford camper van, and they asked, and Bob Barker was like, "What number?" And he's like, two. And as soon as Bob Barker revealed the number from the number, it was 2, and the guys running the audience because celebrating like. And yeah, and when it was making the dinging sound and the Price is Right theme was playing, the ding winning sound, ding 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 ding. Yeah. A lot of great moments on The Price is Right, and this is the most funniest moment of The Price is Right. I'm afraid to say it, but everybody's been it's one of the most talked about incidents in Price is Right history. This was 1977. Johnny Olson announced, he was announcing at the time, the late Johnny Olson announced a contestant to come on. I'm sorry. Contestant to come on down, and get this, she gets out of her chair, runs to contestants row, and then her two-time fell, and everybody's like, and the audience was like going nuts. And I guess one lady that Johnny called down first told her to get her shirt back. And as soon as Johnny called Bob's name, that here's the star of The Price is Right, Bob Barker. Bob Barker comes out through the door. And Johnny Olson was like, "Bob, they have given their all for you." And another Price is Right moment. Get this, a young lady at the time, she came on down to The Price is Right as a contestant in 1980. And she did not get out of contestants row. And get this, that contestant at the time was Wheel of Fortune hostess Vanna White. I saw the episode on YouTube of it. Poor Vanna. This was like a couple of years before Wheel of Fortune came out, before she started hostessing Wheel of Fortune. Poor Vanna, did not get out of contestants row. Did not. Yep. But now she's now on her own game show now and everything, and yep. So I love game shows. They're a lot of fun too. Yep. So yep. Days go fast. Oh yeah. Alright, YouTube. Nice seeing you all. Have a great Labor Day. Have a great and safe Labor Day. Take it easy, be safe, and stay out of trouble. Peace. And happy 50th birthday, Price is Right. Happy birthday. Happy 50th anniversary.